Welcome to the Money Show. I'm Kavita Thapliyal and this is Women's Wednesday, the day we put the spotlight on the women who are not just earning money but making their money work harder, from investing and wealth creation to retirement planning, entrepreneurship and financial independence. Indian women are taking charge of their financial future like never before. In fact, women now account for a growing share of the country's investors, reflecting a powerful shift in financial participation and confidence. So today, we'll answer your most pressing money questions, decode smart investment strategies, and help you build a stronger financial foundation. Whether you are just starting out or looking to take your wealth journey to the next level, this is the Money Show, and Women's Wednesday is all for you. But let's just start by flashing a QR code which you can scan and send across your questions, and we will help you with all your investment strategies and your financial goals. And joining us for this very special edition is Gupta. Harsh, hi, good evening and welcome to the show. Harsh, I'm going to start the show with a very interesting concept. I'm sure you must have heard about it. It's called girls' math. That's right. And today we are going to debust and demystify all the logics behind girl maths. But before I come to you with all the questions, let's just help our viewers understand what exactly is girls' math. So let's be honest, viewers, we've all used girl maths to feel better about our bank accounts. It's the hilarious logic that says if you pay for something in cash, it's basically free because your digital bank balance didn't change. Or if you buy a 40,000 rupees designer bag but use it 400 times, it only cost you 100 rupees. So it's basically a steal. But it's funny, it's relatable, and it's completely wrecking your wealth. That's right. So what girl math really is, it's a masterclass in psychological denial. It's a coping mechanism for modern consumerism wrapped up in a pretty TikTok trend. But your bank account doesn't care about your feelings. It definitely doesn't do emotional maths. A rupee spent is a rupee gone, no matter how you dress it up. So let's take a very classic example. Now, spending an extra 1,000 rupees on clothes just to avoid 100 rupees shipping fee. You look at your cart and you think, wow, I just saved 100 bucks, but you did not actually. You just gave a retail company an extra 900 for something you didn't even want 5 minutes ago, just to spite the delivery charge. That's right. Retailers love girls' math. In fact, their entire marketing departments are engineered around it. They account on you using this skewed logic so they can upsell you. Or how about the refund money rule? Now, that's something a lot of us actually think that we are saving out of, this particular feature. You return a 5,000 rupees jacket to buy a 7,000 rupees dress, and you tell yourself that you've only spent rupees 2,000. But what's the real maths behind this? You walked into the mall with your salary and you walked out with a 7,000 rupees dress, and it has made you 7,000 poorer. That 5,000 refund wasn't a bonus or new money. It was your own hard-earned cash returning to your pocket for a brief second before you threw it away again. The most dangerous rule in the book is that anything under 250 rupees is free. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have fallen for this. A 200 iced coffee here, a 150 quick snack there. It feels too insignificant, but this really counts. And this is what behavioral economics call the leaky bucket effect. We'll understand this with Harsh later on. But if you spend just 250 rupees a day on these little free treats, that adds up to over 91,000 a year. Now imagine if you took that 91,000 every year and put it into a basic index fund instead over 10 years with compounding interest. That harmless daily coffee turns into nearly 16 lakhs. You aren't just spending 250 rupees a day. You are actively trading away your future car, your house down payment, or your financial freedom, all for a temporary dopamine hit. Now, look, the goal isn't to live a boring life where you never buy a coffee or a nice bag. The problem with girls math is isn't it's not the spending, it's the delusion. It allows us to hide from our financial reality because looking at the actual numbers really hurts. If you want to spend guilt free, you need to flip the logic. Automate your savings and investments the very day you get paid. Look, that money, you have to lock that money away, where your girl maths brain actually can't touch it or can't access it, can't even think about it. Because once your future is secured, whatever is left in your account is yours to spend. At that point, you can tell yourself whatever funny story you want to justify your shopping spree, because the real maths has already been taken care of. Now, let's talk to Harsh. Harsh, do you actually get clients? I'm not talking about the gender over here. I'm just talking about clients opting for this logic, the girl maths logic.
Well, Kavita, I mean, if you analyze it in your daily interactions with any individual, okay,
Okay.
what happens and which is very natural for any individual to do is that post taking a decision, we try and justify our decision to make ourselves feel happy. So nobody likes to be, nobody likes to believe that they've taken the wrong decision or they have made a stupid decision for that matter. So somehow you will try and justify yourself. On the other hand, if you really want something, you'll only start looking at the good side of it. And again, you'll try and justify yourself that, like as you mentioned, that you buy a dress, you break it down saying that if you wear it 40 times, the per wear cost is only 100 rupees. So I think these are just mechanisms for individuals to feel happy about what they want to do or what they've already done. Now, having said this, let's break this into two parts. If you see any online shopping, there are dark patterns. As you said, there is a free shipping said that if you add another X amount to your cart, then there is going to be a waiver of your shipping costs. There are dark patterns to instigate you to buy more. There are different marketing mechanisms used by all corporates across the globe which try and induce you to buy more. So that is the nature of the business that we are going to deal with. That is going to happen. On the other hand, individuals are very much entitled to spend their money the way they like. The only gap in between which needs to be addressed is that you need to be very prudent, very rational, and very practical in your thinking. Now, all marketing campaigns are designed to not make you think rationally. They're made to make you think emotionally. Why? Because the moment you start thinking emotionally, your decision making parameters change completely. So, as individuals, you need to be very careful, very practical as far as possible, that you're not taking decisions based on emotions, but you're trying to be practical. Now, with regards to refund, you made a very important point that if there is a refund that you get and gets credited into your wallet, the normal consumer behavior is that we find that money to be extra and we look for means to spend it. Why? Because otherwise, there are some people who feel that money is lying in my wallet, I may forget about it. So, might as well spend it and get something that you need. So, this is similar to a TDS refund, right? So, if an individual has a TDS deduction from his salary, from her salary, and at the end of the year, when you file your returns and you feel that there is a refund, the calculation says that there is a refund, and then you actually get a refund, you feel that is bonus. You feel that is like a windfall income for you, which you can spoil yourself and splurge. However, you forget that this is the same tax that was deducted out of your income and paid to the government, which is only come back to you. So it is your income, right? So, but these are those psychological, dark spots that we are victims to, in our daily lives. So, well, if you talk about girl math particularly, I think women generally think more emotionally, and that's why you try to justify yourself, and all rightly so. I would say women are entitled to spoil themselves at all stages of their life.
Exactly. So it's just like a psychological game, and it's more like making you live in delusion. So it's all delulu concept, we can say. But tell me one thing, what's going to be a smart hack over here? Not talking about using girl maths, but maybe the actual savings, or maybe actually making the most out of what you've spent. Definitely invest right. That is how you make the most out of it. Have planned purchases. But be it a woman or a man, not talking about gender. What could be those smart hacks, when you go out splurging, or maybe an outing?
Kavita, I usually suggest that there is something called an envelope budgeting. Okay, it's
Right.
a very
Yeah.
interesting concept, and if you want, you can actually implement it at all stages in your life. You
Hmm.
could be a very successful person with a lot of extra surplus every month, or you could be in a family which is just about living month to month. So one concept is that you have X amount of money, you place that into different envelopes, okay, literally or otherwise. I mean, that's individual choice. So you could put some money into saying grocery, and one envelope saying that's grocery, one saying entertainment, one saying probably dining out, one could be EMIs, whatever. Then you have to make one envelope for credit cards. I'll tell you what how it functions. So assuming that you've got some money into your entertainment or dining out envelope, you actually gone out dining, and there you spent through credit card, right? So you've not actually used the money in that envelope. What you've done is you spend by credit card. What you're supposed to do in this case is remove the money from your dining out envelope and put it into the credit card envelope. So your money allocation to dining out is going to be restricted and limited to what is left in the envelope. And once your credit card bills come up for payment, then you have money lying in your credit card envelope which you can use. So this is one very basic, way in which you can discipline yourself. This is a very effective tool if you want to introduce budgeting, financial planning to your children. So when you give them pocket money, you help them segregate their expenditure into different parts, which could be movie outing with friends, could be dining out, could be gadgets that they want to purchase in future. So just make them make different buckets, which is in this form an envelope. Help them put money into each envelope every month, and once you've finished your money which is in your movie outings, then you cannot go for any further moving, right? So that is simply as it says. If you go out, you spend by credit card, you remove the money from the movie outing, put it in the credit card envelope. So when the credit card bills come, you have money in that envelope which you can use, and your movie outings is already over. So I think this is one method wherein you can start disciplining yourself and putting things into budget. So this is one exercise. Secondly, there is a delayed gratification kind of methodology which you can use. If you're shopping online or you're any of the online platforms, they are designed to instigate you to take immediate action. You will find them telling last three pieces left, a limited period offer. So that is like instigating you to take instant decision, where you must try and consciously stay away from such kind of dark patterns which prompt you to take decision immediately. You could defer it to say, okay, let me think about it for another 2 days and I will come back and visit this cart. You may surely add it in your cart or your wish list, and you say, I'll take a decision after 2 days. Over the next 2 days, you would possibly be getting the rational side of yourself and thinking whether you should go ahead with the decision or not. So I think these are small but very powerful methods which you can use to self-discipline yourself, and then you'd be in a better position to take decisions. I think these are small things that you can start working at. You don't need to be a 16-year-old to do this. You could do this even if you're 45 years of age.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's the real takeaway, and a hack for smart spending. But let's take a short break. Harsh is there with us, and we'll be connecting with our women viewers and helping them with their financial portfolio. But just before that, let's just flash our QR code once again. You can send across your questions, and we'll see you after this break.
Women are good at fun.
Welcome back, and it's Women Wednesday on the Money Show. Harshvardhan Rungta, our guest, is here. We'll be answering all the portfolio queries now. Harsh, let's take Sandhya's question first. She is 30 years old and wants to build a retirement portfolio. 1 CR is her goal, and she wants to retire after 30 years, wants to understand the inflation-adjusted corpus that she needs to accumulate. Very interesting question, and thank you so much, Sandhya, for asking this, because inflation adjusted corpus, I think that's one calculation that people need to factor in whenever they are aligning their investments with their future goals. Harsh?
Yes, Kavita. So I think it's a very, very good question. For a simple reason, retirement is a very important goal in everybody's life. Now, what happens is we do think about retirement. We do wish to save for retirement. The question is, are we saving enough for retirement? Now, that part is usually missed out by people. And I think Sandhya has hit the nail, where she's asking what is the process of investing for retirement and planning for retirement. So, to begin with, first and foremost, there are going to be a lot of assumptions that we are going to take into consideration when we plan for retirement. So assumptions would be what is going to be the inflation rate, what is the return on investments that we are going to generate. So there are going to be a lot of assumptions in this calculation. So it's important that every individual is very, very realistic in their in calculating their assumptions. So to begin with, one, you will identify your current expenses and you will also factor in the lifestyle increase that you will do over the period of time. So first is what is my monthly expenditure today and in today's value, and then you use inflation to ascertain what is going to be the future value of that money that I'm spending today. So for example, if there's a 70,000 rupees that you are spending every month and you wish to retire after 10 years, what will be the value of that 70,000 rupees after 10 years? So in this case, it will be say probably 1,40,000 rupees. So the first thing that you do is you start calculating saying, what is my expenditure today and how much will it become at the time I'm going to retire? Now you will get a number with on that saying that this is what you require every month. The second question is, this money that you require post retirement is also going to be subject to inflation. So the money is going to, if you require say 1,40,000 in the first year of retirement, the second year of retirement will be 1,40,000 plus inflation, and so on going for the next 10, 20, 30 years that you're going to require money post retirement. So basis this, you will discount it down further to find out what is the corpus you need at the time of retirement. So having understood what your current expenses are, what they will be post-retirement, how many years post-retirement you need that money for, you will discount it and come to a figure saying, if I'm going to retire 10 years down the line or 20 years down the line, what is the corpus I require so that I can feed myself for the rest of my life? So now with this formula, you will get one figure. It could be a couple of crores. So in all respects, Sandhya had asked whether 1 crore is sufficient. In my opinion, given the current expenditure that we have, 1 crore for any normal individual or a family would be less. It could in probably be a couple of crores, could be 3, 4, 5 crores or even more, depending on how much you spend today and what is the lifestyle increase that you will do going further. So inflation adjusted corpus accumulation is one part that you will get with this calculation. Now, once you identify what is the amount I need, say after 20 years from now, you can do a backward calculation to say, if I were to invest in X amount today and it grows at say 12%, what is the amount I need to invest and in how much time will I accumulate that corpus? So this backward calculation will then get you a monthly figure saying, if you invest say 10,000 every month, it grows at 12%, you have 20 years to go, it will accumulate to become the corpus that you have calculated. So this is one methodology in which you can, try and come as close to your target. As I said, entire calculation for retirement is based on assumptions. Assumptions include the rate of inflation that you're talking about. Assumptions include what is the rate of return you will generate. The third assumption you're making is that your expenses will go up every year due to lifestyle increase by an X percentage. So all these are assumptions. Now, based on these assumptions, try and
Mm-hmm.
make it as realistic and then get a future value calculation done.
All right, quickly, let's take Rakhi's question. She's 42 years old, investing 55,000 across 15 plus schemes. I think you have the names, and investment horizon is of 7 years and wants you to consolidate her portfolio and which funds she should be exiting from.
Yeah, so Kavita, 15 or 16 schemes to invest 55,000 is definitely not required, as she rightly identified. So, what I would do to minimize disruption, I'm going to pick 5 schemes from her existing portfolio and we will consolidate everything in that. So, she doesn't have to open new schemes, she doesn't have to do a lot of changes, just that she need to make some changes in the SIP amounts that go into each scheme. So, she'll retain and invest in future in these 5 schemes which I'm naming now. Nippon India Multi Cap Fund, she could invest 15,000. HDFC Large and Mid Cap 10,000, Motilal Oswal Mid Cap Fund 10,000, Bandhan Small Cap 10,000, and ABSL Value Fund another 10,000. So with this, she will have a 55,000 allocated across markets in different segments altogether. All the schemes that she has other than these 5 schemes, I would suggest that she redeems out of them, closes all of them, and reinvest the lump sums that she get into these 5 schemes back again. So going further, she will have only 5 schemes and consolidated manner. All older schemes will be out of her portfolio. It becomes easy for her to track, monitor, and then add or delete anything after, say, probably 2 years from now.
All right, so we still don't have a lot of clarity, and you've listed out the funds that she should be exiting. In 7 years, I just quickly want to know when she should start wrapping up out from equity?
So see, she has a target of 7 years.
Hmm.
Ideally speaking, an investor should start moving out of equity 2 years before they need the money. And the simple reason is that we don't want last moment volatility to affect your goal. So, say for example, she needs money in the seventh year from today, and seventh year from today happens to be a year of COVID, 2020, that struck and the markets fell 40%. And then if you need the money, you have no choice but you need to redeem. So you don't want to get a rude shock in the final year of your requirement where markets fall 40% and you can't even hold on to your investments. So it is generally suggested 2 years prior to when you need the money, in a phased manner, you start moving out of equity and securing your money into debt funds.
Hmm.
So in this case, 5 years
Right.
from now, she could start moving out gradually and secure the money for her use after 7 years.
All right, I think that's all the time we have on the show today. But Harsh, thank you so much for taking your time out and helping our viewers, and especially being part of this Women's Wednesday show. Thank you. And for our viewers, before leaving you, let's just flash our QR code on the screen so that you can scan it and keep sending us your question. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.